This program has been brought to you by Airtel, proud supporter of Africa's rising football stars.
Airtel Rising Stars, one of the greatest tournaments in Africa. Finding the best teams, the best talent, and which players are good enough to train at the Manchester United Soccer Schools camp. If you're out there, we'll find you.
Hi, and welcome to Airtel Football. For Zambians, the 2012 African Cup of Nations miracle may just be the defining moment in the country's footballing history, up against tournament favourites Côte d'Ivoire. And while the Ivorians boasted names like Drogba and the Toure brothers, Zambia's Chipolopolo boasted a unit of players with heart, desire, and pride. And as they embark on the journey to defend their title, their most recent encounter brought them to East Africa, an African Cup of Nations qualifier against Uganda's Cranes. Zambia won the first leg 1-0 at the Levi Mwanamasa Stadium in Ndola.
Well, history is history, and Zambia is here to make history because in the friendly game we played with the Cranes, we drew. And also you are looking to go to African Cup of Nations, but mind you, we are the holders of African Cup of Nations trophy. And looking at preparations, I think our team, they are geared.
Because of the history of them, they have never won a game here. And because of what happened when we were in Ndora. So 1-0 was very weak. So that means here we can give them 3-1.
Three things. One, this is our year. 50 years of independence, we are hitting it big. Secondly, we still have the Kiprotich effect. One gold medal, then we also qualify. So definitely Zambia is going back to the dogs.
Statistics are there to be made and broken. We also have a reputation to uphold as the Zambia national team. We are the African champions, and it wouldn't make sense African champions that are not there to defend their title.
As they come to this game, I expect Uganda Cranes to win the game because they had enough preparations and strong team.
We are the champions of Africa, and we did not win it by chance. We have a history of always going to the Africa Cup. We have always qualified. Uganda hasn't been there in how many years? 34, I think, or something like that. So come on. I think we're going to make it. And Uganda can't defend in this game like they did in Zambia. They have to attack, and that opens the game. So I think this is our game.
2-1. Uganda score first, then they go for the killer goal, and then we hit them. Chris Katongo, Mayuka.
Zambia will qualify.
Oh, we are winning 2-0.
But winning here in Kampala would be a different story altogether. Bobby Williamson's Cranes were desperate to overturn the deficit in order to qualify for the finals of Africa's biggest soccer bonanza for the first time since 1978. In the end, it was Zambia continuing their stellar run of form, winning 9-8 on post-match penalties. And as a result, they secured a top African seeding, and with it, avoiding meeting with some of the continent's big guns that missed qualifications in the 2012 edition. Teams like Nigeria, Egypt, and Cameroon.
I don't think Zambia should have had to qualify. They're the champions. They should have went straight through. So we've been unfortunate we get drawn against the champions, but we've equipped ourselves very well. I'm proud of the fans, I'm proud of our players because we showed we can play. We've beaten them today, but we never get an opportunity to kill the game because the 30 minutes was missing. They went straight to penalties. But I'd like to congratulate Zambia and hope they go on and win it again.
Yes, people will wait for us, but when we go to one tournament, there is a pressure for everybody. That means you are going to the tournament to do your best. And it will be my fourth Africa Cup of Nations, the third one with Zambia. I'm just very proud to play my third Africa Cup with Zambia.
But there is a genuine pride for playing for Zambia's Chipolo Polo. Before the continental success, and before the world stopped to take notice of this sleeping giant, the Zambia strip comes with it pride and passion. And Herve Renard's focus on young talent has certainly come to fruition. It's stories like Zambia's that stay in our hearts and minds forever. As lovers of the world's most popular sport, and it's moments like Zambia's incredible run in the African Cup of Nations that drive young footballers to success. Young footballers who work day in and day out to one day have the opportunity to pull on their country's national colors. During the just concluded Airtel Rising Stars competition, there were a number of these stories. Players that were instrumental in the success of their teams, composed and fearless with a natural understanding of the game. Africa is simply stacked with talent. And there was one coach who watched carefully at the Airtel Rising Stars finals in Lusaka, Zambia. One coach who believes in youth. And under the watchful eye of Chipolo Polo coach Herve Renard, players were being scouted for the future of Zambia's national side. And one young man certainly stood out from the rest.
He was very talented when I saw him, left footer in front of the defense, midfield, very skilled, able to receive the ball from the right to play on the left and not the opposite, to go forward to play in the deep. This is very important because to find the players to play all the time backward or lateral ball, it's easy, but someone's taking the risk and not losing the ball, it's very important. Now it's a perfect example of Godfrey. He has some strongness but also some weakness. He has to improve physically. He's sometimes at the same pace all the time. That means he has to improve his fitness in terms of pace. And if he understands he has to work a lot, he has the potential to reach one day the Chipolo Polo.
As Godfrey Ngwenya shimmied and shook his way into the hearts of the thousands that turned out for the finals, Coach Renard was looking at a much bigger picture for the young man.
I followed this tournament when it was in Lusaka, and with my book I wrote a lot of names of the player. Now they have to improve, they have to work very well. We have to give them the key of the professionalizing. This is very important, and I hope one day to be coach for the national team and to use one players coming from this Airtel development.
The always honest Herve Renard certainly saw the benefit of the Airtel Rising Stars competition. And Godfrey's dream to one day play for Zambia's Chipolo Polo begins now.
I have on my phone the name of some players were playing this Airtel tournament. They were from the Makeni school, from a different area in Lusaka or in Copperbelt. But what is very important, and it's to make a detection for the region, because we don't have to miss one very good talent. And thanks to Airtel to organize this detection at this age, because it's very important for the future.
But it was a story that was being written years before. 147 kilometers north of Lusaka, it is the story of a young man whose only dream in life is to play football, and whose love for his national side is his driving force. When we return to Airtel Football, we meet Godfrey Ngwenya, and we look at the impact of the Airtel Rising Stars competition. Stay where you are.
Airtel Rising Stars, one of the greatest tournaments in Africa. Finding the best teams, the best talent, and which players are good enough to train at the Manchester United Soccer Schools Camp. If you're out there, we'll find you.
Welcome back to Airtel Football. The mining town of Kabwe, here in Zambia's central province, is known for its many treasures. And recently, it added one more treasure to that long list. Godfrey Ngwenya might have been discovered by Chipolopolo coach Herve Renard at the Airtel Rising Stars competition in Lusaka, but his journey began much earlier, here in this small mining town. A strategic stopover on the Rhodesian Railway in the early 1900s, remnants remain intact, giving an idea of its past. This is also the place where Godfrey fell in love with the beautiful game.
I started playing my football at the age of 6. By that time we were playing those plastic balls. Yeah. After 4 years, I started playing a little bit of competitive football. We are the team. In then they are the under 12s. That's where I joined. Certain teams were interested in me, and that's how I joined FC Tigers. And that's why I started playing football. Then at FC Tigers, I was spotted when we went to a tournament that's here in Kabwe. Yeah. Then after that, I was at the age of 15 when I started playing at Premium Sport. Then after that, I was transferred to Mazabuka. There I started playing in Division 1, although I didn't play frequently. Then the coach decided one day to use me as a midfielder. So that's how I played the midfielder, and that's how I've become a midfielder today.
It's easy to see why he grew up eating, sleeping and breathing football.
Since I was born, I used to go with him to all the games which maybe we've been playing. Started first with in Ndola when I was with Zesco United as a coach. He used to follow me. When we were playing at home, you find him, maybe you were there at the bench, you just come in the pitch and sit close to you. But it was just a surprise, you know. Even me to find him, maybe has been called to the main provincial team for the Zambia national team.
As much as it appears that Godfrey's future had already been written out for him, that he was always going to play football at some level, there was certainly an element of surprise that he would be chosen to play alongside his idols like Chris Katonga and Emmanuel Mayuka, that he would follow in the footsteps of one of Zambia's greats, Kalusha Bwalia, that he would be playing football for the champions of Africa.
The Airtel Rising Stars brought so many experience in me. I was there in the season 1 Airtel Rising Star. By then, I was not that performed person. Yeah. But in this season 2, I came with that courage of playing football. And in mind, there was nothing like being selected to the national senior soccer team. My mind was being selected for the under-17. That is for the one going to Kenya. Yeah. But just came. At a sudden, the coach told me you have been selected to the national team. At first I was surprised, but Then after the day after, I was used to it.
He's somebody who gained the momentum. He can play 90 minutes and plus. He's a good player, and I feel that he will make it out of the best.
A surprise to everyone, except maybe Mum.
When I first heard that he was selected to the national team, I was very proud, and I know he's going to do it. He's a very good son, and he's always a very perfect person to everyone. He's going to do it. It's just that we will just encourage him.
The Airtel Rising Stars competition is full of stories like Godfrey's. Stories of lives changed. This is what Airtel football was designed to do. To create, change and grow the way that football is played in Africa. An Africa-wide program that provides a platform for upcoming football talent under the age of 17 to showcase their skills to leading scouts and coaches and to have the opportunity to further their skills. An ambitious football talent search program that focuses on identifying and nurturing talent from the grassroots level onto the national and international stage. This year, the number of teams that participated in the tournament increased by 65%, from 11,000 in 2011 to over 18,000 in 2012, meaning the competition reached more kids across more of Africa. We also saw a number of the country finals broadcast live to an African-wide audience on SuperSport. And for the first time ever, an inter-country tournament. All 16 participating nations sent boys and girls teams to Nairobi for the finals. And it was in Nairobi that the boys from Niger took Africa by storm. There was also the chance to meet Manchester United and Arsenal legends, current and past.
You have talent. You have to stick with that. You have to work hard. You have to listen to what your coaches are saying. You got to work hard every day, and you gotta have a lifestyle which is suitable to playing football, and that means you've got to be very, very disciplined. You cannot live a rock and roll lifestyle at the same time as aspiring to be a footballer. That's very, very simple.
It's a great honour for me to be here. I'll just say well done to all of you. I've been talking to Robbie and Paul, and he said your application has been first class. You know, listening, wants to learn, and hopefully you can take it back to wherever you come from and take that and help other players as well, because you know hopefully you've learnt some new methods in training. And as I said before, it's been an absolute pleasure to be part of this here today.
As well as a chance to get up close and personal with some of Africa's greatest ever, like Zambia's Emmanuel Mayuka.
I would say I thank God for every success that we have, and I believe it's all about dedication and belief in everything that you do as a football player.
And former Ghanaian greats, Sami Kufor and Ni Odate Lamptey.
Well, I've been speaking with some of them, you know, that I have been in this situation before, even though maybe they have more facilities than us. But I was just, you know, being as a young one, running on the street, playing football. But then now they are playing on the grass. They have a football shoe. By my time, it wasn't a football shoe. So the only thing that they need, they want to be like the next Sami Kufor, or the next Michael Essien, or the next Stephen Appiah, or Odate Lamptey. They should more concentrate, because all of us from starless into the senior level. So they need to concentrate and dedicate themselves to the game and determination.
You know, this is something maybe that God gave it to me. So at the earliest age, maybe 7, 8, this is what, you know, I love doing, you know. Education was a problem, so I gave all my heart out, and well, I was very happy to benefit from it.
There was the incredible partnership with Arsenal Football Club, which when added to the already existing partnership with Manchester United, brings two of the world's most popular footballing institutions together on one stage. And that is Airtel Rising Stars.
For me, it's a great opportunity to come back to my roots.
Of course, I'm from Senegal. It's different. It's a different country, but we're all brothers, as we said, and it feels great because I didn't come back in Africa since 2 years now. We have many games. We have to play with national team. We have many friendly games in between holidays, so I'm very happy to be here.
Following a successful tournament across the continent and an incredible final in Nairobi, Kenya, a series of Manchester United and Arsenal clinics led by some of the world's best youth coaches took in the most talented young footballers. And it wasn't just about the game, but all the trappings that go with it.
The standard obviously is, we've got the best, 50 of the best, the most talented players across Africa. So the standard is very, very high in terms of raw technical ability.
For me as a coach, myself and Rob and Luke, we're the privileged ones to come out here. First of all, to be with Arsenal is a privilege in itself, and to be with obviously the company that is obviously representing this, which is Airtel, working in collaboration with Arsenal. To be a part of something that is groundbreaking, it's pioneering, and to have the privilege to coach a whole new generation of young players and have some kind of influence on the way that they can take football in the future up another level is a privilege in itself. We're the privileged ones, and so to bring the Arsenal way of playing to these youngsters in the hope that they will go all the way and get themselves signed, it is a wonderful thing in itself. I quite like the absurdity of taking nothing and creating something, and obviously showing young people that you are made different so you can make a difference.
Just like each one of these incredible kids, Airtel also dared to dream, and with it created a platform for youth football that has changed the way the game is played here in Africa.
The training has wonderful training because in Zambia we don't know how to trap in, to turn in, but we came here to Ghana, we know how to trap in and controlling the ball.
We have learned inside and outside passing, controlling, position, and shooting. And I want to thank Airtel for everything, because without Airtel I will not be here. And Ghana is beautiful and I enjoy their food.
Me, in personal, in controlling balls, I'm very fit. And turning, it was very difficult, but now in two days, I'm okay.
That's all the time we have for this edition of Airtel Football. Thanks for watching, and see you next week.
This program has been brought to you by Airtel, proud supporter of Africa's rising football stars.